when you find something that thrills you as you do it, and you focus upon it a great deal, so that your vortex to source energy is wide open because you're doing something that is causing no resistance, that is the optimum experience of thriving. Physical beings often think that what dollars are about struggle and suffering and sacrifice. And we say dollars are about everything else in this universe. There's a source or a stream of abundance that flows openly and easily. And when you are a vibrational match to the stream, in other words, as you sort through the contrast, and the contrast produces a desire within you, that desire has pulling power. And there are no limits to that. The non-physical energy that flows and the dollars that flow on that stream are as a result of the asking. All your economy is anyway is an exchange of human energy. And so when someone gets a desire, that desire causes energy to flow, and that's why there's an expansion of your economy. There is no shortage of that, you see. It's like oxygen, in and out, in and out, in and out. Pretend that you are the head of a corporation, and there are many people in this corporation, maybe even 50,000 people or 100,000 people, and they do all kinds of different things. You don't train anyone. You don't teach the computer people, and you don't teach the manufacturers or the inventors. In other words, you don't have a one-on-one relationship with any of them. But you do have a manager that does. And this manager is so good at what he does. Every day you feel blessed that you have found him, because he understands everything about your business. He understands everything about all of these people. And so when you want something to be done, you just say to the manager, I would like this and this and this. And your manager says, consider it done. Wouldn't you love to have a manager like that? And we say to you, you do. That is what law of attraction is. Remember that the universe is responding to you in response to your feeling. And so sometimes when things dovetail with a subject like dollars, a subject that you and almost everybody else has pretty well practiced the feeling of not enoughness around, what happens is things can go very well. It's as you say, I'm having a good time, things are expanding, I'm getting many new ideas, I'm feeling lots of energy flowing, but the dollars just aren't rolling in the way that I'd like. And we say it's usually because you've practiced for a while the feeling of not enough dollars. And so you really have to begin to imagine more dollars or get off the subject altogether. We want to be clear about that. You see, you do not have to launch an intention and then hold doggedly to that thought and only that thought in order for the universe to bring it in. It's not like casting out there with your great line and hooking onto this fish of something that you want and then having to keep tension on it in every moment or it will shake off and get away from you. It isn't like that at all. It is that once you have launched your intention, the universe is yielding it to you, and unless you are offering a vibration that opposes it, it is going to come into your experience. So as you are moving through your experience and the idea of something that you want is born within you, you don't have to singularly think about that in order until it comes about. You can launch an idea and never think about it again, and the universe will yield it to you, because if you have gathered enough contrast to give birth to the desire, it is yours. In other words, and there's enough energy to bring it to you. But what often happens with people is that they have this contrasting experience which launches the desire. The non-physical energy is answering it, and so the desire is being answered, but then they're noticing, oh, it isn't happening, or it's not coming, or they are offering thoughts that are in opposition to it which keep holding it apart. So it's like the donkey and the carrot. Every step you take forward, the carrot takes a step forward too. And so the way you close the gap between the two is by releasing any thought that contradicts it. Well, if it is a subject that you don't think about much, then it is conceivable that you could launch it and just leave the idea alone, and it would show up in your experience, and you would say, oh, I have this vague recollection of saying I wanted that, and look, here it is. But when it is a subject like dollars that play into your experience on so many levels, so many times in a day, it is not likely that you're not going to have thoughts around that subject. In other words, what we're saying is not likely that you're going to leave that subject alone. And so when there is a subject that has to do with something that you want, and it's not likely that you can just not think about the subject, then it is really worth working to bridge your belief about it, working to shift your vibration about it. And the way you do that is just by sort of taking the bull by the horns and talking about the subject with the deliberate intent of bringing yourself to a place of feeling better about it. The reason that we like so much this analogy of the manager is because once you can play with the idea of it and you can feel the supreme satisfaction you would have with such a person in your life. In other words, it's easier for you to accept it if it were a really extraordinary person who just had the ability to knock himself out in thousands of different ways in every day in order to put things in order for you. It's like having someone pre-paving your path. It's like an entourage of very effective people going before you and preparing every conversation, every moment in traffic, everything that would ever happen in your experience is being taken care of by this orchestrator. And when you really feel confident in this orchestrator's ability to orchestrate on your behalf, then, and usually only then, do you relax and turn that part of it over. Through the years, you've listened to us offer many, many processes. The placemat process that we talked about some time ago was for this same intent, because we understand that what creating is identifying a desire and then letting it be. Identify the desire and then let your vortex be the open channel through which the energy that creates worlds flows to the completion of that which you want. But most physical beings give birth to a desire and then they say, where is it? And so they open the vortex through the power of their desire and then they close it right up again by their awareness that it hasn't happened yet. So we offer endless processes, all with the same intent, to bring you to the place of allowing. So the placemat process said, put the things you plan to do on this side and the things that you would like to be done that you don't know how to go about or you're not ready to do on the other side. And what Esther began to notice as she played the game was that the things that she had delegated to the universe were happening even faster than the things that she had put on her own list of things to do, because she had applied the two important parts of creating. She had identified them as objects of desire, but because they weren't on her list, she didn't feel guilty about not doing them, or she didn't feel worried about doing. There was a relaxing in her energy. So the placemat process caused her to want with no resistance. And that's what this delegation to the manager does. It causes you to identify your desire and hold no resistance. So why do we want you to visualize? What's the whole point of visualization? If the manager's been watching you, if law of attraction or God or all that is or whatever it is you're wanting to call this creative life force, this eternal energy that is ever flowing, if it is always watching, and if you've been launching intentions all day, every day, all of the days of your physical experience, and if this non-physical energy knows exactly who you are and what you want, and is answering, because every time you ask, no matter how boldly you are asking or not, every time you are offering the vibration of desire, the universe is answering, then what is the point of your visualization? Well, the point of your visualization is not to make it happen. It's not to tell the universe more clearly what you want. The universe always knows clearly what you want. It is that in your visualization process, you are more likely to be in a place of being a vibrational match to your desire than if you're worried about it not happening. And it's where the fun comes in. In other words, that's where you begin. Oh, it is so exhilarating to have imagined, to have pretended, to have flowed energy towards something. And when the actualization of it begins to come into place, it's like coming to the confluence of great rivers where all of this energy is flowing. You can just feel the energy of it. It is so delicious to be physically, specifically focused right out here on the leading edge and have all of that energy roaring through you, and to know that you have summoned it and to be in alignment with it. You didn't come here to get it done. You came here for the birthing, and then the alignment, and then the receiving, and then the birthing, and then the alignment, and then the receiving. In other words, it's this eternal dance of you getting to use your brilliance to conclude, while the benevolent universe yields to you everything and anything that you could ever want, giving you ever-increasing new platforms to desire from. Indeed. Indeed.